Hi, good morning, everyone, again. I hope you had a good night. Yeah, I did have a good night. Just came from work and I'm preparing to go do my exercise, or rather my workout, whatever you want to call it. Um, I don't know how many of you remember the story of Joseph. Joseph, not the Joseph of the New Testament, the Joseph of the Old Testament. Um, Joseph had a dream. This dream did not go well with his family. It did not even go well with his dad, the one that loved him more than anybody else. So what did the brothers do? They decided to send him to the pit. Then they changed their mind and thought, you know what? You'd better go dream somewhere else. So they sold him to Egypt. He ended up in Potiphar's house. Now, there's this Potiphar's wife that saw this guy. She was dreaming of him. Yeah. Imagine she wanted to rape him. He ran away. Where did he run to? He ran into jail. He became better, or he became loved in jail, and he became the head of other prisoners. He was the one who was, my German will always interfere. He became the one who used to share food to the other prisoners. In the process, he got to meet the king's cupbearer and the king's, what was this other guy's name? The baker. So, knowing each other, and they also got to know he's a dreamer. This guy is a dreamer. He's the Martin Luther King of those days. But at the end of the day, he ended up in the palace. Now, there was the pit, there was Potiphar, there was prison, there was palace. Those are the 4 P's. I want to come to you. Remember, these are his brothers. Even his dad had to rebuke him at some point because he couldn't, me, your father, bow down to you. Really? Anyway, imagine, because of him dreaming, they ended up bowing down to him. Now, there are times in life, you have a dream. You dream, you see yourself, this big CEO. You see yourself as this, great teacher, professor. You see yourself somewhere very high. But what does life give you? It gives you the pit. Say, okay, fine. You're taken to Egypt. Those who are Christians and understand the word of God understand what Egypt means. Egypt has a spiritual meaning, or rather, a spiritual meaning. You're taken to Egypt. Now, when you look at Joseph and his dream, does the pit look like he's anywhere near his dream? No. Potiphar's house, he becomes a slave. And thank God this guy had the Spirit of God. And wherever he went, he excelled. Wherever he went, he was the best. And I cannot imagine he was just seated to become the best. He was a hard worker. Even being with his dad at home, that is why his dad loved him. He wanted him to be near him because he knew the benefits he was getting from his son Joseph. So anywhere he went, people wanted him near him. The people wanted him near them. Now he enters Potiphar's house. It doesn't look like anywhere near what he dreamt. In fact, he becomes a slave. From his father's house to a slave. Now, he also goes to prison. Now, which one is even better? Is it being in Potiphar's house as a slave? Or is it being in prison? Imagine, he goes down to prison. Somebody that was dreaming that people will be bowing down to him. he ends up in prison. So he is even further away, according to him, according to us, further away from his dream. But do you know the farthest of where he was is what took him to his dream? If he had not gone to prison, he wouldn't have ended up in the palace. What am I telling you? At times in life, you will dream, and instead of you coming nearer to your dream, you find like you're going further away from this dream. Situations are happening in your life that they are nowhere near the dream that you had at the beginning. But you know what? God knows every step. Imagine nothing happens in this life without the consent of God. Everything you're going through in life, God has given a yes. You're doubting. Let me take you to the story of Job. Before the devil could tempt Job, he had to ask for permission from God. Why? Because Job was a child of God. God had put a stamp on the life of Job. That is my child. You're not touching him without questioning me, without asking me. So even when you're going through things, God knows you're going through them. When you're going through something that doesn't look like it's anywhere near your dream, God has a copy. That thing has passed through his desk and he has approved it. Why has he approved it? Because he knows you can do it. The Bible tells us he will never let us go through something that he knows we cannot be able to overcome. So, are you in the pit? Are you in Potiphar's house? Are you in prison? It doesn't matter where you are. And by the way, you don't have to go through the whole process. You can come from the pit to the palace. You can come from Potiphar's house and go back to the pit and then to the palace. The pattern doesn't have to be exactly like Joseph's, but that pattern is there in life. And those who have made it in life, let me tell you this. I heard somebody say, if you want to see a successful person, look at how many times he has failed. Somebody who has not failed in life is not going anywhere. So you will fall, you'll go through issues, but at the end, your dream will come true. At the end, it's a happy end story. They ended up bowing down to Joseph without even knowing. Even when they got to know, they even wanted to bow more. Remember the dad, sorry, that was rebuking him. Wow. When he saw his son, nothing could hold him from bowing down. In fact, it was their fleeced. It was a must for them to bow down to Joseph. So, God has you. God has you. Mungu ako na wewe. That is what we say in Swahili. God has you. God has you in mind. He did not create you by mistake. You know, when a potter is making clay, you know the ones that remain. He decides, since it has remained and I don't want to throw it away, you just take them together and create something. You're not that one. You're the original clay. The original clay that the potter used. So you're the original. You're not China made. You're original. So hold on to it. Don't give up your dream. Even when you're in the pit, or you're in the prison, or you're in Potiphar's house, you're still getting to the palace. It's just a matter of time. Go and check how long it took Joseph. After he had talked to the baker or the cupbearer? No, I'm forgetting. One of the two. The one who went back to the palace. I think it was the cupbearer. How long it took before that guy remembered, oh, there's somebody I knew that could dream. It took 2 years. So he did not go back to the palace and remember that there's a dreamer. It took 2 years for the king to dream. so that Joseph could come in and get his position. So the day you dreamt, or the day you had your promise or your vision, it doesn't have to happen today or tomorrow. The only thing is, God will send the right people your way, and God will make them remember you. Hang in there. Don't give up. The Lord is with you. Have a great day and wake up. Let's go do some workout. Be blessed.